there's a part in your book where you sort of you coin a term, algorithmic creep.
Oh yeah.
Can you explain what you mean by the term, and where do you think it's most at work in our society?
I'm not sure. I might be taking that from someone else. I'm, and maybe I should have given them credit.
Mm-hmm.
I would surprise me if I'm the first person to have used it.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, the idea is that what I really have very little patience for is when people say, "Oh well, I'm not on social media," "Oh, or I closed my Facebook account," as if your individual habits were a solution to the much larger problem, which is that whether you're on social media or not, the algorithms that structure social media are increasingly structuring corners of social reality that you cannot escape from. Right. And for some people, this includes work, right? If you drive for Uber or if you work in an Amazon factory, your work is being structured by gamified incentives that are substantially the same as those that keep us seeking likes on Twitter, even though they bring no material good, right? And if you are living in a regime with a more robust social credit system, then, in a sense, your entire life is gamified. Should I jaywalk here and lose 2 social credit points, or should I go to the intersection and show up a minute late to my probation hearing and lose 3 social credit points, right? It's the game of life that is a game in the sense of, being constantly constrained by strategic decision-making on the model of gaming the algorithms on Twitter, right? So it's, and then, also with other aspects of the creep, or maybe better, the leap into logistics and banking and train timetables. Increasingly, these are going to be set based on algorithms, the same way that, say, Uber pricing is set now, right? And so this seems to me to be a technology that was honed most exemplarily on social media, and that worked so potently that it's moved far beyond that, so that, again, it doesn't really matter whether you're on social media or not. And then the one other point that I insist on in the book is the looping of algorithms, not just the creeping, but the looping, where not only do we bend ourselves to express ourselves on social media in ways that respond to the incentives of the algorithms, but we also come to think of ourselves in ways that are substantially shaped by those incentives, right? That is, we think of ourselves in terms of the categories that are trending, right? In a very kind of algorithmically visualizable way, right? In some respects, that's just culture at work, and you see the roots of this in the Paleolithic. In another respect, when it's all formalized and schematized, and it's all happening in circumstances where we're cut off from direct physical contact with other human beings, it rather intensifies the situation.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen this kind of algorithmic creep going on in my neck of the world in anime fandom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a book written, I think, in 2000 by a Japanese scholar of anime fandom. It's called Database Animals. I think his name is Hiroki Azuma.
Oh, so
And
interesting. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and he talks about, like, this was in 2000, so before the algorithmic creep sort of happened, but he would describe like anime fans as sort of like similar to the way Francis Yates would describe like Renaissance philosophers
Oh, wow.
with these sort of amazing feats of memory.
Yeah.
And now I've noticed, and you know, I was raised in the around that time where you could still see that kind of fandom occurring, but now a lot of younger anime fans are there's a kind of flattening, and that's occurred. A kind of
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
ask them, if you ask them like, well, do you know about this anime from the 1970s directed by this or that, you know, an older anime fan would have been like, yes, and would give you all the details. Now it's almost like the memory has been sort of externalized.
Interesting. Yeah, 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 yeah. So we lose these old cognitive practices, including these feats of memorization, and it's replaced by a kind of streamlining that we see as a kind of contextlessness. Yeah.
Yeah.